This weekend is D23, and in this video I'm going to go through 5 different rumours that could be updates or possible plans for Disney parks around the world. Just want to start this video off by saying a lot of these are rumours, nothing completely confirmed, but from plans that people have seen online and from different documents that Disney have released, these are most likely going to be talked about at D23, or if not, they are still future plans. So here we go with number 1. Number 1 is the most likely one to happen, and that is because Epcot is due a big overhaul. There's different plans for the World Showcase, but the one that I'm going to focus on is France, which is had some plans that have leaked that show that there's going to be a big sort of building around sort of the back and sort of the right hand side of France, which people are presuming is going to be for a Ratatouille ride, similar to the one in Paris, which we went on in our Paris vlog, which I'll try and put up here in the little arrow thing, or it's that side, I can never remember, I don't know. But yeah, so that would be really interesting because that is a very popular ride in Paris. And I really enjoyed it when you go on it, it's just different to everything else. I mean, it's a trackless ride, it's very strange. You sit in the car and you think you're on a track and it doesn't, it just all the cars spin around each other and it's very cleverly done. I think it would work really well in Epcot. I think it would be very popular. It obviously fits perfectly with the French theme. It would just make perfect sense to be there. Number 2, and something I think would be very interesting, is the Great Movie Ride is apparently going to get a big update. It's all going to be themed around Mickey Mouse. Now, TCM, or Turner Classic Movies, who currently have the contract for the Great Movie Ride, you see them at the start, has their sign, and the guy talks about Turner Classic Movies at the end of the ride and asks you to go watch their channel. Their contract is due to run out in 2018. So there could be very soon big updates plans for that ride, which there have been things apparently themed around Mickey Mouse, so it could maybe be going through, or maybe go through classic Disney films, classic Mickey Mouse moments, I don't know, but that is a very interesting ride for an update, and I think it really desperately needs one. For number 3, I'm going to stick with Hollywood Studios because we should be getting updates on Toy Story Land and the Star Wars Land. Now, there is going to be shown off, I believe, a big model of what Star Wars Land will look like, so hopefully we'll see some of the rides, see the attractions, see what's going to be going on there. Toy Story Land, we've seen from sort of pictures about a Slinky ride and things like that, so hopefully we find a bit more about that. But what I'm finding interesting is they're really moving away from the Hollywood area of Hollywood Studios. So I'm wondering if possibly the park could be rebranded. I mean, it was originally MGM Studios, then Hollywood Studios. So could it just be similar to the one in Paris, which is just Walt Disney Studios Park? So that could be an interesting update. I wonder if that's something that would go along, especially if the Chinese movie theatre changes for the Mickey Mouse ride. It could be big updates, you never know. Something big might happen for Hollywood Studios. Number 4, which is a bit nearer to home, is an update for Disneyland Paris. Now, within the last year, I can't remember exactly when it was, Disney actually acquired the whole right to Disneyland Paris. So that means they have full control, and apparently they really heavily want to invest in the Walt Disney Studios Park. So not the main park, not Disneyland Park, the Walt Disney Studios Park, which is kind of like their version of Hollywood Studios, but it feels like an older Hollywood Studios, to be honest. It was a bit more sort of less with the times. I think it does need an update, and apparently they really want to heavily invest with Marvel at that park, so including some of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in that park, which will be really interesting because I mean particularly in Europe, all the Marvel films are very popular. You see it everywhere. I mean, you go to places in, say, Spain or somewhere, you go to all the little shops that sell souvenirs, and there's always Marvel things in there, even though Marvel has nothing to do with sort of Spain or anywhere in Europe in any sense like that, but it is very popular, as it is everywhere in the world. So that would be, I think, a very welcome update to Walt Disney Studio Park. And finally, number 5, and something I'm very excited about, is that the Tomorrowland Speedway attraction at Magic Kingdom is apparently going to be removed and replaced with the Tron Light Cycle ride, which is in Disneyland. I believe it's Disneyland Shanghai. Now, if you haven't seen this ride, you've got to just find videos of it on YouTube. It's amazing. It's themed so perfectly well. You like lean forward like you're on a light cycle. A thing comes down over your back to keep you on. Kind of similar to, I think, how the new Pandora flight. The flight at Pandora, I can't remember the name of the ride, I'll put it down here because I'm going completely blank. How that works, where you sit on it, you lean forward and a thing comes down on your back. I think it looks exactly the same, and it goes round the roller coaster. You just got to watch this because the neon lights, the theming is great. I mean, it doesn't really link with the Tomorrowland theme. I mean, it does in the sense of like what it is. It should link perfectly, but the actual like aesthetics of it, how it looks, doesn't really fit. So unless they're going to have a major overhaul of Tomorrowland, which I think would be amazing, especially with where like Sunny Eclipse, that could link quite well. I mean, it could be so much more than what it is, but I see that they're heavily investing elsewhere that this could happen. But I think this would be more of a 2 or 3 years down the line, unlike the Star Wars and Toy Story, which are happening very, very near in the future. So that is 5 things heavily rumoured for Disney parks at the D23 Expo, which starts from today, actually, the day this video comes out, for this weekend. It's not streamed online, you're not allowed to take any pictures or videos in the events, but there should be a lot of things, obviously, posted online for people who are there once they come out of the talks. There's a few other talks, there's things on like Disney animation with Pixar, though they have a talk. There is also one on just Disney Studios films, and obviously one on the parks, which is what I was talking about here. So what I'm going to go through now is just 5 random things that I think, or just dream things I would like to be shown off at the D23 Expo. My first one kind of links to the Tomorrowland update that I was talking about with the Speedway going into Tron, and I think it would be really good, possibly. I mean, this is a bit out there, and I think this could be quite hard to sort of design and be suitable for everyone, but to have it as a WreckIt Ralph kind of attraction, so Sugar Rush. So it's like the car racing in Sugar Rush. I think that would work really well. I can see why it wouldn't work. I mean, having to design all those cars and make it suitable for everyone, but it would kind of link perfectly, but I can see where there'd be big problems. My second dream announcement for D23 Expo is for there to be a Grease Pavilion added to Epcot. Now, obviously, just the grandeur of how that pavilion would look would be amazing. If you themed it sort of like ancient Greece, would just be phenomenal. I mean, you could have like, there's so many things you could put into that, but what the key thing I would like to be put in there is something about Hercules. Now, Hercules is not really shown a lot around the Disney parks. I mean, I can't even think of one thing. You'll probably comment below and tell me everywhere it's mentioned around Disney parks, but it's really not shown. I think it's something that could be really shown off because it's such a great film. It's something everyone knows, and it could lead to a really good ride. It might be just something similar to kind of like basic, like try and think of a ride similar, like the Winnie the Pooh ride, things like that, where you just sit in a carrot, you sit in a little cart, and you go around and sort of you get shown off to all like the Greek gods. I think it would work really, really well in Epcot. Number 3, and is something that I always talk about just because it was a favourite of mine when I was younger, and I think it would just be awesome with all, especially with all the remakes happening and like everything going on like that. And I think that would be for a new Mighty Ducks reboot. I think a live action version of that would be amazing. Like, just you could bring back the old characters, have them be the trainers, have them be the coaches. I don't mind. Have them be the parents of the new generation. That's just a dream one for me. I doubt it ever happened, but it's something that I've always wanted to happen. For number 4, I'm actually going back to Epcot again, and I'm actually going into the Land Pavilion where Thorin is. And there's sort of a small show off to the side about the Lion King, the Circle of Life. Now, it's not the most popular show. You don't see a lot of people going into it, and rumours are that is going to be one place where Disney are going to update. And I haven't seen this, what I'm going to say, anywhere on sort of the internet looking at rumours, but I'd absolutely love for Chip and Dale to have their own kind of show there, where it could be about deforestation or something like that. I think Chip and Dale are amazing characters. I mean, everybody loves them, everybody goes and has photos with them, but what have you seen Chip and Dale in sort of the last 10-15 years? They're not sort of anywhere else really in Disney other than at the parks. So I think that would be just a great place to show them off. I mean, they're in the restaurant there, so why not have that next to it and have them be the mascots of that sort of the Land Pavilion? That would just make perfect sense, and it would talk about something that is sort of relevant in today's society about sort of deforestation and like the destruction of the planet, which is exactly what the Land Pavilion should be for, and what Epcot should be for, about teaching people about the future and how to preserve the world we live in. Or on. Live in? Live on. Live on. Now, my final one is not a fully considered idea because I'm not sure where I'd want to put it, but I think Big Hero 6 really should be shown off at the parks. I mean, Baymax has a tiny little photo spot area in Epcot, right sort of over in the interventions in sort of the main hub area, but I really think it'd be advertised. I mean, if Big Hero 6 took over the interventions area and everything was linked to like Big Hero 6 in the future, because that is everything that's in the film, that would work perfectly. I mean, there's a big talk of Ellen's Universe of Ellen's Universe of Energy, I think the name of it. Oh god, I'm going back again. Being updated for Guardians of the Galaxy, but why not put Big Hero 6 in there? It makes perfect sense. The whole film is about like technology in the future and energy and things like that. It would just fit perfectly. I mean, I'd love for it to be Guardians of the Galaxy, don't get me wrong, but I think that would take away from what it's meant to be. And I think Big Hero 6 would be a much better fit for that area. The other place I think it could maybe take over is, as I said, interventions, and maybe even the Stitch show in Magic Kingdom at Tomorrowland. That needs an update. I mean, Big Hero 6 could go there. I think that could maybe fit something better, but I mean, I chose Big Hero 6. I think that would fit in Tomorrowland quite well, but I could easily see that being anything else, to be honest. I think that's the one attraction at Magic Kingdom that I really think needs to go and get updated, as well as the Tron thing instead of the Speedway. That would be great, but I think Stitch's Great Escape really needs an update because it's only open part of the times of the year and it's not very popular, and I think it really, I mean, I love Stitch, I love Lilo and Stitch, I think they should be shown off at the parks, but it's not the best way of like sort of advertising and showing off that film. And that's it for my D23 rumours and my sort of dream rumours for the D23 Expo. I just want to say a thank you to everybody who subscribed recently. We had a surge, really, like quite a big surge in the last couple of months. We've gone up to just over 60 subscribers, which for me is crazy. Like, I didn't think I was going to get 10. I was like really happy when I got 10. I like tweeted and things like that. But to get over 60 is just crazy. So thank you so much to everyone who subscribed. I mean, it got to a point where there was sort of one a day for a whole week, and I was just like, oh my god. I was having to like screenshot it and send it to Chelsie on like WhatsApp to tell her. It was just amazing. So thank you to everyone who subscribed. As for the future of this channel, the next few weeks, I'm planning to do a few videos. I want to start a Fit for Florida series, which will link up to our announcement of our next trip. Other things that I'm planning to do, I'm thinking of doing videos on like vegetarian dining at Disney World or at Disney Park, so if that would interest you, comment below. Also possibly a Q&A if you think that would be great. I mean, I'll talk about that in the next video, or I'll put a picture on Instagram or on Twitter about asking questions that you'd like us to answer. I've got a list behind the camera of the videos that I want to talk about. I mean, we just got Disney Life, so I can talk a bit about that if you want me to talk about that. Other things, thinking of doing a Draw My Disney Life video. I mean, I would like to do a Draw My Life video. I've always find them fascinating and would love to try one. So Drawing My Disney Life, about all of the trips that I've had and Chelsie have had to things Disney related. I would like to do that. If that's something that you'd like, please tell us below, because I'll get working on that straight away. I mean, I teach, so I've got a really big sort of summer break coming up, so I've got time to do all these things, which is great for me because I've always wanted to do them, but I never have time during normal working days. Anything else up here? Let's have a look. Q&A. Oh, must-dos and never-dos at Disney. So if you'd like to see some things that I think are must-dos and never-dos at Disney, please let me know. Or if there's any other ideas that I'm not saying that you think you'd like to know about, that you think I might be able to help with, please comment below and I'll go through all of them. But for now, I'm going to have to say peace out. I will see you next time, and in the meantime, have an awfully big adventure. This episode of An Awfully Big Adventure is sponsored by Beast Mode Water. Keep the beast mode on.